Mess with this swordsman. Try it. Okay? I will cut you to ribbons. Mess with this swordsman. This killer. Falsehood killer. Mukazibin. Zalimin. Mujrikin.
Don't make me take this fez off, Allah knows, cause I will take some heads off. You all foes, lower self, my mouth, you keep a banger that'll sink the Noah's Ark. Stop playing with me, I'm the true and living God, but I know the low a little better than you little frauds. Trying to keep it on a high note, I really love my bro, but I can go lower than a worm, no ramo. See y'all let this evil social media gas you dumb thuggin'. Thinking when I see you I'ma bash you or not. We gon' talk about it, acting like you bout it. Guarantee you when I see you we gon' put some chalk around it. Talking like a big boy, this fez won't save you, cause I will take this fez off and ask you who made you. You better say Allah when you look me in my eyes. You see the image of Allah. Don't be looking surprised, I'm the God in the flesh. Of course I'm fresh, I resurrect and protect. I don't believe he left, I breathe Jesus' breath. You breathe weed and death. We come correct like a check when the G's connect.
Let's go, Geechee!
I'm coming for your wreck for real. Yeah. Don't make me take this fez off. Come on, Geechee. Don't make me take this fez off. Yeah. Islam. Don't make me take this fez off. How y'all doing today? Is everybody all right? Let's try it again. Let's try it again. There's original people in the building. There's original people in the building. I'm the king of this YouTube. Ain't worried about you dudes. Ain't nothing that you do to make me care. But I pray to Allah, you don't take me there. See, I'm the type to get in front this mic and sacrifice the hype. You the type to get in front this mic and hope you get some likes. I used to back the thing that go bang bang and boom. Today, my brain cells is a fully armed army platoon. And y'all some cartoons, coons and buffoons. You wanna meet on IG? I prefer high noon. I'm a quick draw McGraw standing on that floor. It's self, Lord, and Master, Allah. See you dumb and you blind, can't see the summer is mine. You better pay attention, the answers in between the lines. I'm the man still standing, killed. What up, Crypto? Had them fighting each other with every man. Cut the head off the stick. They been acting up, family. And after side never got the rest of them losers. Inky, Yuck, Neil Bay in the debate league. I got them all. And Triple C, OC, and the rest of them lanes. See, I'm calling names cause I ain't playing no games. Don't let your bride write a check that you know gon' bounce. Take heed from Dr. Inky, he out for the count. Yes indeed. What up, Patrice? Come on, man. Y'all gotta share this to everybody. Y'all know I ain't been going live, so the algorithms don't work in my favor all the time. You dig?
We got guns to the head.
Come on now.
We got Inky in the background.
Yeah. Islam.
I just want to be your friend.
Try to be your friend, man. That's right. Try to be your friend,
Demetrius.
Help me out.
I just want to be their friend.
Meet me halfway. Come on.
I wanna
be your friend.
If my mic drop, don't get mad.
Let me be your friend. Peace and love.
I'm working out. I'm trying to work out a little bit.
You ain't never ever gonna meet
Cause the summer is mine.
Be your friend. Peace and love.
What up, Manuel?
Be your friend. Peace and love. I said
You ain't never met a more like me.
and you ain't never ever gonna meet one again. I wanna be your
I like this
friend.
one.
Peace and love.
I like this
So
one.
let me be
Let me
your
turn it up.
friend.
Let me turn it up.
Peace and love. Hey yo, I used to be a thug until I met the prophet. Now I'm all about love, truth, peace, and freedom till I return to Allah. One day we gon' meet him. I'm all about justice. That's the focus of the message. Sometimes Asiatics make me wanna forget the lessons. I be all up in my passion from all the Moorish bashing. All things considered, I start laughing. A grown man with a ponytail, another calling us Neanderthal, and he all pale. I mean, for real, this is what it comes to, my brother. We got nothing better to do than talk down to each other. Yeah, we can get scholarly or we can get gutter. We are the children of a father, and the breast of one mother has nursed us all. And first of all, we beefing while the pain try to murk us all. You need to chill, my brother, tell the elder the same. Cause on the real, my man, I'm really about them things. I can take the feds off and get back in the low and return to the state where they used to call me dope. But no, I'm rolling with the prophet of Allah. I want love, not war. Standing on that 4 and I'm holding the square. The compass and the axe that might be too deep. Yo, let's not get off track. See, our prophet was an adapt. Do you know what that is? An Egyptian adapt is a brother who lived by the universal science developed in the Nile. They call it Islamism, but it's the same, my child. Sit at the foot of a master. I train you up, but I might have to bang you up. I still love you. And those that's talking that this ain't Islam, everything the prophet bought is in the Quran. All that other stuff, prostrate and cover up is just a start. The nearest place to me, the law is the heart. You can dress like Imhotep or you can dress like an Arab. While the Moorish American Muslim unifies the word. You can say what you want about Dr. York, but he gave you different variations of the same thought. You don't appreciate that. You won't appreciate.
What up, family?
Appreciate the holy and divine true violence.
Peace and
People
love.
refuse to admit it. He the first that ever did it.
We about to get started in a minute.
The Moors would forget it, but we here, strong,
Let me get my water.
alive and well, resurrected from hell, with a story to tell. So pay attention and listen, and consider the facts. You know it's humanly impossible for you to be black. I guess a Chinaman is yellow, a Mexican is brown. Just think for a second how ridiculous it sounds. We can turn it around, but we must unite. It's okay to disagree, but we don't have to fight. Cause if we have to fight, you know how we get. I'm still learning to love. No, I'm not there yet. So work with me, fam, and I'ma work with you. And let's all work together and do what we gotta do. Cause on the real side,
Come on, we about to turn this up.
Since 1929, when the prophet left the flesh, we had an Asiatic president. Men marrying men, psycho shooting up a club and don't see his own sin. And those that say they conscious, they took your bucks. Move straight to Hollywood and straight living it up. And y'all bigging it up, straight cheesing and grinning. But it was your bread to help him set it off in the beginning.
What up, Malachi?
You put in your soul, cause it could blind you. Unfortunately, some people get paid to misguide you.
Misguide you. Oh yeah.
I wanna be your friend. Peace and love. Let me be your friend. Peace and love. I said you ain't never, and you would never. You ain't never, ever, ever. You ain't never met a more like this, and you ain't never, ever, ever gonna meet one again. I wanna
Stephen
be
X.
your friend.
Oh, Stephen X, why you gotta come in tonight?
Peace and love. Oh yeah, you ain't never
Hold
met
up.
more like this, and you ain't never, ever, ever gonna meet one again.
Hold up, I gotta stop the
Let me be your
music.
friend. Peace and love. Let me be your friend. Peace
Stephen
and
X.
love. I wanna be your friend. Yeah. Let me be your friend. All these men. We ain't trying to be
Stephen
enemies.
X, why you in the building
I
tonight?
wanna be your. So
God
let me be your.
dug it.
I wanna be your friend. Hey.
Hold up.
Yeah.
Hold up, man. We got Stephen X in the building. Hold up. Stephen X, why did you come in the building tonight, brother? Why tonight, brother? Dang, man. Bro, I'm going to be touching on some Elijah Muhammad stuff tonight. Why tonight? I ain't seen you in a couple nights, but tonight, you got to come in the building tonight, Stephen X, man. Come on, man. You know, every time that I elaborate on the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and his teachers, they first thing they cry is foul. Stephen X, man, they gonna take your bow tie and your bean pie, my brother. I don't want them to do that, because I love you. We got a solid friendship relationship. You understand what I'm saying, Stephen X? It's like the brothers in the NOI here in Baltimore. You know, like Troy X, my brother, Brown X here, and a few others here in Baltimore. We got a solid relationship. No matter what I say, they like, oh man, that's just the Huckabee. He got the same passion and what he believe in as he used to have when he was an unbeliever. He just goes like that. That's who he is. But man. But we got some people out there like Malcolm Flex. Oh, he lose his everlasting mind. And tonight may be one of them. Now, I'm not gonna go too heavy. I'm not going to go too heavy. I'm only going to just scratch the surface. And maybe tomorrow I go too heavy. I'm going to give you a warning, Stephen X. Possibly tomorrow. What's today? What today is? Let me see. You got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I can't go Friday. Saturday, I gotta be with the family, so maybe Wednesday or Thursday, carry the 1, divide by 2. Yeah, Thursday it might be. It might be Thursday, Steve. Steve, stay home. Stay home. Hey, yo, the election went well. The election went well. It'll be out on video soon. Listen. The Thursday day, the Wednesday, Thursday, 1, divide the 2. Assalamu alaikum, Yaqub, Bean, more, Drew Ali. Yeah. Probably Thursday, brother. Let me stop. Man, my brothers in the nation be mad at me. There's a brother right now on Facebook. He hot as 13 firecrackers right now. Goodness gracious. And we ain't even near the 4th yet. We getting close. But boy, he hot as 13 firecrackers. He did a whole post say, this is what Elijah did. Elijah did this. Elijah did that. Elijah did this. Elijah did this. Noble Drew Ali did none of these things. I said, goodness gracious. He didn't do nothing. I said, okay. You got it. Noble Drew Ali didn't do nothing. Wink, wink. Anyway, family, I hope that you are having a beautiful evening tonight, family. Tonight, we're going to talk about the fallacy of defining FBA. Listen, family, I'm not even going to make any apology about my position on how I like to teach. Many people think, here come the lotion. Crip say, that's a lot of lotion, bro. Do that before the show. Crip, we family, Crip. Well, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us. Stop, black. See, y'all starting already. Hey, I'm going to make a disclaimer tonight. To all my brothers in the Nation of Islam, I truly love and admire you as my brother. However, I am very comedic in my approach to teaching. I am very critical of things that I logically disagree with. And there's quite a few things that I disagree with. And I'm almost sure, and I bet $1 to a donut, and I'm not a gambling man, that you disagree with some of the things I practice. The difference may be you may not voice your differences. I voice mine just to teach, not to antagonize. But when it's all said and done, we got the same boot on all of our neck. But in the meantime, in between time, we got to call a spade a spade. Welcome to Moorish World TV. I am your host with the most, Brother Talker Huckabee. I couldn't even say my name.
I'ma be that more you gon' remember.
Let's go. What up, the guy? What up, everybody? Man, we got 122 people in the building. It's time to build the numbers back up. We know they go down in the summertime, but it's okay. We need everybody to get this lesson in this blessing. Stop the stressing. Let's go. If you a friend of the more than you a friend of mine. Yes, indeed. You know why you a friend of mine? I'm trying to tell you, we need an army. Everybody, thumbs up before we start. Yes, indeed. I'm gonna let y'all rock out. Why everybody coming in? Let me get a few more slides together. Let me get a few more slides together. I like to get slides all the way to the end.
Generation chasing pills, weed and syrup. Yeah, they love Loyalty, Tucci, Gucci, Kodak, Amigos,
Ross,
Lucid.
But where the love?
For the woman look like your mother. I guess they say it's all black.
Good night.
Now, cypher. I'll be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more
Man,
you
I
gon'
love
remember.
me.
That's right. I'll be that more you gon' remember.
Talker Bay.
Front line till the law call my number.
Blah.
I'll be that more you gon' remember.
Yeah.
I'ma be that more you gon' That's right. I be that more you gon' remember. To Hawker Bay front line till the law call my number. All you super scholars holler. This era for the workers. You ain't building on the ground, then you worse than a twerker. You look and sound good, but that's only on the surface. Probably working for the people. Now tell me what's your purpose. Ain't worried about your homie, but know that I know every mo that rock a fast. He ain't my bro.
Now.
You know I ain't slow. I seen it all before. How they try to kill the prophet, it was all for dough. And some got it right now. Don't say that I'm not down. I'm coming for my vast estate.
I'm coming.
My town, my sheriff, my stores, my schools,
I'm coming.
my nation. Sick and tired of the procrastination and debate. Y'all keep hating when love is the savior. You don't love yourself, so you can't love your neighbor. That's why you kill and fight and marry out in your race. If you
gotta
ain't
do
for
it,
Moorish World, then get out of my face. Cause Chinese love China, Italians love Italy. If you used to love the Moorish World, come on and build it with me. Let's go. I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember. That's right. I be that more you gon' remember. To Hawker Bay front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember.
I
I'ma
gotta
be
do
that
it.
more you gon' remember. That's right. I be that more you gon' remember. To Hawker Bay front line till the law
Gotta do
call
it.
my number. I be that more you gon' remember. Be
I
more.
gotta do
I be
it.
that more you gon' remember. That time. I be that more you gon' remember. To Hawker Bay front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. LA. I be that more you gon' remember.
extras
New
out.
York. I be
We
that
about to
more
get
you gon'
started.
remember. To Hawker Bay front
Somebody
line till the
gotta
law
do
call
it.
my number.
All right. Enough with the pleasantries. Fam, let me explain something to you, family. If you think that so a lot of times on the Moorish World TV program, I do not like to really push a lot of Moorish ideals as it relates to the temple concept and things of that nature. What I do is I teach it, but I weave it in the things that we talk about, because that's the foundation. You know what I mean? That's the foundation of what I found myself within the foundation of the Moorish Science Temple of America. But I don't like to browbeat people. I don't like to overpower people with the strict concepts of Moorish. I like to keep it plain and simple, as if I was talking to a bum, if I was talking to a dope boy, if I was talking to a king, if I was talking to a politician, if I was talking to a regular everyday person. I wanted to sound all the same, that everybody can understand. But tonight, on this very here stage, I am going to be breaking down some of the fallacies of FBA. Now, FBA is Foundational Black American. I am of the thought and the opinion that it's a government operation put out before us as a distraction to kind of mislead and to divide votes. And what I mean by divide votes, if people don't really understand about politics, and maybe we'll go over it sometime in the future, that when you're dealing with politics, right, you have the left wing and you got the right wing, and both of them of the same bird. It's the same eagle. You know what I mean? The left wing and the right wing is the same eagle. It's the wings of the same body. However, what they would do is they would play games to make you believe that one is more for you than the other, when in fact they're living out a destiny that they're going to manifest that keeps them the rich, not necessarily European now, because the battle is between the rich and the poor. Consequently, the Europeans that are on top, usually they do have some racial motivation. And it's been like that for a long time. But however, we have to be careful with that too, because it's the rich and the poor. And so those who want to be rich want to be alongside, but they're expendable to the wealthy elites. But let me get to the point. So they're the wings of the same bird, and they got different ways of maintaining power. You know what I mean? Now, the Democrat
bird side wing may be that we're going to give you welfare. You know what I mean? But we're going to give you, and when I say welfare, I don't mean that in a derogatory sense. They'll promise you that you're going to get better schools. You're going to get cleaner neighborhoods. You're going to get better health care. They'll promise you all these things. Now, the right wing, if you will, the Republican side, they will say, well, listen. All you have to do is work hard, and then we can work together, and then we can build our economic base, and then we'll all benefit from the American dream. We can pay for our own better schooling. You need to strong up. You need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You know what I'm saying? Now, listen, if you vote for me, I will assist you in pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. You know, I will make sure that federal funding will go towards the Americans. Now, they won't say, quote unquote, black or African Americans. They would say, I'll make sure that we'll make America great again. I'll make sure that we don't send our money across seas. But you know what I'm saying. If you live long enough, you know none of those promises never pan out at the end of the day. They get the votes that they need, and they maintain the power, and they've been maintaining the power for quite some time. Now, with that being said, from the early 18th century, right? We're learning, if y'all in school today, let's be in school with me today. From the early 18th century, they developed these color codes, right? They have been naming us since we got off the ship. The first name that they gave us was infidels. The second one was slave. Press 7 if y'all with me. Press 7 if y'all with me. The first label that they gave us was infidel. The second one was slave. Is anybody familiar with that? That was the first label that they gave us. Let me pull this up real quick. I'll be thinking so fast. I want to read this to you because we in class real quick. We're going we in class real quick, and I really want you to get this. So if y'all are not familiar with Pope Benedict, all right, he is the one that issued the papal bull for slavery. And let me see if I can pull him up. He issued a papal bull from the Catholic Church to enslave North Africans. If I can see, if I can find it. Is this it? Hold up. Let me see if here we go right here. Let me see if I can screen share this for you real quick. I'm going to screen share this for you because this is going to set the show off pretty decent to show you how we've been given labels for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I don't want to proselytize to you, but I do. But this shows you how the infiltration and the government has been doing these things by the way of our people for quite some time. You follow what I'm saying? So let me see if I can pull this up real quick. All right, there we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this down right here. Let me shrink it real quick. So in 1452, family, because this is where it all starts at. You know what I mean? This is where it all starts at. All right? As you can see, they got us depicted behind the Pope. You know what I mean? And in 1452, Pope Nicholas V charged Alfonso of Portugal with the Christian duty to enslave any non-Christians. The Pope Act would be, this is how slavery started in the real sense. This was a not only political thing, but it was also targeting us as a people. Slavery just didn't happen. And so it just didn't just happen. It was by design. The Pope Act would be first recorded international edict to literally grant Christian nations the right to promote, enforce, and heavily profit from slave trading. Decades later, Pope Alexander V beckoned Christian monarchs to conquer native populations in the name of the Catholic Church, upholding this predecessor tradition to enslave non-Christians in whatever lands they called home. Now, in the beginning, when Pope Nicholas issued this papal bull, his whole papal bull was focused on Moors. They would use terms like Mohammedan, they would use terms like savages or infidel, but it was all centered around Moors. That was his papal bull. Go enslave them, because once they got the Moors out of Spain, the next step was to enslave them, and they called them savages, and that's Pope Nicholas that we're talking about. I'm gonna get to my point in a minute. So once they demonized our people of North Africa, who they understood to be Moors, they demonized them by calling us savages. They demonized us by calling us infidels. They demonized us to the point where they could influence the Christian populace to enslave any person of dark, light, or crispy black skin, however, from North Africa, and that's what it was. It was a papal bull. Now, I'm going to bring it on up to today. I mean, this stuff isn't by chance. The first thing that one does in order to enslave or bring atrocity to another people, the first thing that they do is they send out propaganda. The propaganda back then was infidel or savage, you know what I mean? And then ultimately slave would follow. And so this methodology has been working for a long, long time. And using the term FBA is no different than the propaganda of yesterday. As Emmanuel Dark says, you got to dehumanize them. And once you can dehumanize them, you can give them a permanent disconnect. FBA today is one of those permanent disconnects, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. Now, with that being said, I want to get to, let me get to my my slides real quick. You know what I'm saying? Let me get to my slides. Now, hold up. At the end of the day, we about to get busy. At the end of the day, let's get busy. Let me set myself up. They have played a vicious game with us, and they continue to play this game with us. Now listen, you don't have to agree with me. You don't have to watch this presentation, but I'm about to show you that this game of yesterday is still being played today. It's still being played today, without a doubt or contradiction. And you're going to learn today. So we got, on the cover, we got our good brother, Marcel Dixon. Marcel Dixon. Now, I want you to pay close attention. Marcel Dixon claims to be a Geechee. And we'll go into what that means in a minute. You know what I mean? We'll go with what that means in a minute. But he claims to be Geechee. But he also claims to be foundational Black American. Now, we're going to break all of that down. And yes, Marcel Dixon is very sugared up. But that's our brother. You know, he have a right to be sugared up if he want to. I mean, listen, that's not a default on him if he chooses to be sugared up. We're talking about politics right now. We're talking about identity right now. And whether he's sugared up or not, his concepts of identity is very flawed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, you know, if he want to be sugared up, it really... I gotta go, man. Y'all, I'm trying to be serious, Takaya. Oh my God. Come on, Romello. I'm sitting there trying to be serious, man. Always hell. Help me out, Hope. Help me out. I sit here trying to be serious. And they going to keep on. I'm going to start reading the comments. That's right. Crip told me long time ago, Grand Sheik, don't read the comments. Now let me get back in my mode. Let me get back in my mode. Now, because he a little bit sugared up, that doesn't change his concepts. Whether they're good or bad, we're just going to examine the concepts. You know what I'm saying? Good. Even somebody stop me. Efren, somebody stop me. Black girls read, help me. They all ganged up on me. They ganged up on me because I done found a new good word for the alphabet rainbow crew, and they won't let me stop saying it. And now it look like I'm being facetious. I just said sugared up. Help me. Listen. So anyway, yeah, let me get serious. So anyway, him being sugared up or not really doesn't have a bearing on how I see his concepts. You know what I mean? His concepts are off. You know what I'm saying? His concepts are very, very off. And with that being said, family, we're going to get started. So when someone says that they're foundational Black American, right? It sounds good off the break. It does sound really good for those who lack identity. And we have been struggling with identity since we came out of slavery. We have been struggling with identity. And the powers that be know that with this struggling of identity and trying to find our place in the world, it's very easy to throw something out there that sounds good, sounds fine, and we'll grab onto it. But when you say foundational Black American, first of all, the lesson of it is supposed to be that it's a lineage. Am I right? Press 7 if I'm right. That foundational Black American is a lineage. Is that right? Somebody press 7. The first 7 to see, I'm going to move forward. They say that the foundational Black American is a lineage. I sound like Umar Johnson saying it 500,000 times. Well, when you say you're foundational Black American, let's not forget that the Americas don't only consist of the United States of America. So when you say you are foundational American, foundational Black American, what exactly are you saying? Are you saying that you're from North America, South America, or Central America? You want us to imply, you want it to imply that you are from the United States of America. However, that is not the specific expression of the term American that is implied. It's not. From an educational point of view and from a political point of view, it's only implied. It's only implied. So when someone said they foundational Black American, it also can be relative to being of Canada, of South America, or Central America. When someone says that they're FBA, foundational Black American, because see, North, South, Central American are all Americans too. And because, and listen to what I'm saying, listen, and because the foundational Black American is not a political term, the only time that the term American is used in the United States as implied as a political term is as it relates to citizen. And the actual term is the U.S. national or American citizen. And American is only implied. It's not direct. I mean, Mr. Untouchable says somebody doesn't know geography. I hope he's talking about the foundational Black Americans, because the foundational Black Americans, they have claimed all the Americas. They have claimed all the Americas. And they got people believe, and this is how you know that someone is controlling the algorithms. This is how you know someone is controlling the algorithms of what our people think today. They throw anything out there, and our people will grab it. But we're going to break it down. We're going to break it down tonight. Now listen, let's go back for a little bit. After slavery, our people were struggling. Our people were struggling for identity. Writes Tom W. Smith, labels play an important role in defining groups, individuals who belong to groups. This has been especially true for racial and ethnic groups in general and for quote unquote blacks in particular. Over the past century, the standard term for blacks, quote unquote, has shifted from colored to Negro to black, and now perhaps to, this was written in the 70s, now perhaps to African American. The changes can be seen as attempts by blacks to redefine themselves and to gain respect and standing in a society that has held them subordinate and inferior. Now I'm gonna ask you a question. When you have a true origin, does that ever change? Does a Chinese person origin ever change? Does a Mexican origin ever change? Does a French lineage ever change? Does it ever change? Ask yourself this. You can have Chinese born over here in America for the next 1,000 years. As long as they have the phenotype, people will say, that's a Chinese man. And if they have knowledge of self, they will say, yes, I'm American by the way of Chinese ancestry. You follow what I'm saying? But only people on the planet Earth, since the slave trade, we are the only people that goes through these changes of we're colored, we're Negro, we're black, we're Afro-American, we're African-American. We're the only people on the planet Earth that has done that. And that is by design. And using the term FBA is no different than these transitional names that was put before us and that we grab. And some of the people that we love has been instrumental in pushing some of these names. Some of them has been instrumental in pushing some of these names. And a case in point, one person was, let me see if I can find this. I'm going to let it run while I'm looking for it. I hope I don't lag my show. I'm going to look for it real quick. Is the great James Brown. When James Brown did that song, I'm Black and I'm Proud, that was a major shift. It was a promotion, and people was jamming. All right? Give me a second. Let me show you.
Changed me from Soul Brother No One to Godfather Soul to Mr. Dynamite. Now to say I'm a gladiator because I keep on going, you know. So the Vikings now wants to film James Brown.
Everybody wants James.
Well, you know, James Brown is you. James Brown is you out there. I didn't make James Brown. Thank God that he gave me the energy to carry out the role. But I was just playing a part for humanity. And I'm still playing a part for humanity. That's my role. And my role has gotten beyond a social thing, because a social thing will remain the same until we change it individually.
Listen to this.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And we got to change ourselves individually, you know. You can't expect people to keep changing it for you. That's like getting your food and asking somebody to eat it for you. The same thing you have to do yourself. And I found it out over the 60s. You know, I gave my heart and everything to it.
Watch
when
this.
Going got rough. A lot of people, 90% of the politicians, backed up and walked away from me. I had to come back, with God help, another direction. I came back to the country rock clubs. And I come back, and today it's bad, but you'll see 90% non-blacks at my concert. And that's the very end. And staying on that one chord, you know? And it's very sickening. called soul music. Now I go on a change of minus
Watch
7,
this.
6 after a minute or whatever, and I stay on it for 32 bars, which was, and I was shining shoes, and I was doing all the very much relevant. Not to me, it's irrelevant.
Listen to this.
In the music world, but I didn't intend for them to stay there. You know, that's to make it. So when I got into the music, I did it my way, and he came out to set up a precedent in the music world. But I didn't intend for them to stay there. You know, that's like singing Black and Proud today. I mean, you say it's very much relevant. Not to me, it's irrelevant.
Listen.
Intend for them to stay there. You know, that's like singing Black and Proud today. I mean, you say it's very much relevant. Not to me, it's irrelevant. Because if you're gonna stop and talk about how proud you are, exercise it. Don't tell people I'm Black and Proud. They can see you. You understand? And if you don't know what color you are, look in the mirror. I thought it was a setback for me to say it loud, I'm Black and Proud. But I saw it was needed because we were so far behind.
He said, I thought it was a setback to say I was black and I'm proud. But I see that I thought that we needed it because we were so far behind. This is the transition of names that was given to us. And I forget who said it, but entertainers who can control even our beloved James Brown. Entertainers that can push a narrative, you have to be very careful. You have to be very careful because you never know if they took a check to push this narrative. And when you hear James Brown speak about I'm black and I'm proud, he say he kind of regret it.
But open the door, I get it myself. To me, it's more heavier, you understand?
Well,
You hear what he said?
If you don't know what color you are, look in the mirror. I thought it was a setback for me to say it loud, I'm Black and Proud. But I saw it was needed because we were so far behind. But open the door, I get it myself. To me, it's more heavier, you understand?
Well, you're talking about different directions.
I'm talking about one direction, straight.
So look, without James Brown, the terminology wouldn't have gotten so popular. And so that goes to show that they use entertainers to push these common themes. And they change. And the thing is, like I say, with a lineage don't change. Lineages, man, it just don't change. But we have been changing over and over and over again. Now, Pamela Walker writes, no turning back advisor writes, during the early republic, the earliest mutual aid groups and schools for free enslaved, quote unquote, blacks adopted the broad term African as an identifier. The African Methodist Episcopal Church in Philadelphia was founded by a black freedman, Richard Allen, while the African Free School in New York was organized by the founding fathers Alexander Hamilton and John Jay. In the Emancipation era, the post-Civil War period of the newfound freedom and autonomy for the formerly enslaved, black Americans shifted from inherited in terms of racial categorization to naming themselves. That's not true. These names was put before us. Colored was the dominant term through the mid-19th century. But freedmen, and this is the funny thing about those who call themselves freedmens. We're the freedmens. But the freedmens, people like Lord Abba, who was a 5%er last week, who was a Marrakesh percenter week before that, who was an NOI, wannabe FOI before that, who was a Moorish American for that. Today he's a freedman. I don't know if he's a Moor anymore, but anyway. But the freedmen adopted the term for themselves as a marker of race pride. Historians trace this seemingly preferred designation through black-led organizations such as, listen to these organizations. This is what pushes it. The National Association of Colored Women Clubs, 1896, and the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, 1909, that sprung up around the turn of the century. Now, the point that I'm making is that these things are pushed before us. Lord Abba, he was ADOS last year,
2 years ago, and this year he's a freedman. Man, he's all over the place. Yeah, but man, God bless his heart. May Allah bless his heart. With that being said, in the dawn of the day, the Negro, National Negro Business League, the word Negro was born from a Romance languages, as this is written by European, French, Spanish, Latin, Portuguese, and literally means black. Family, let's ask ourselves a question. And I'm just, like I said, I'm not going to try to force feed you Moorish science in no way, shape, or form. But let's ask ourselves a question, family. If we was going by the term Negro, right? And then we stopped using Negro, and then we led up to using the term black. What's the difference? Can we be honest with one another? What's the difference? If we thought Negro was bad, and then somebody tricked us to using the term black, when Negro just mean black, you don't see how we fell into a trick bag? But why is it so important? Listen, I told you today, if you don't like what I'm talking about today, because you think I'm going to be pushing Moorish science, then you might as well leave today. I'm not pushing Moorish science. I'm pushing more common sense. That's it. So one that says that they don't like to be called a Negro, then you're saying you don't like to be called black. You see how confused we are as a people? We're totally confused. Totally confused. But with that being said, this is how they push these things to keep our people confused. See, most people think infiltration has got to be something super dramatic, when in reality, infiltration is not that super dramatic. It's controlling the mind of the people so they can predict what the people going to do. If someone put out something of some poison out there and someone eat the poison, you can determine what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and when it's all over and said what's done. It ain't nothing, it's not nothing great and extravagant that keeps us in this condition. It's that little subtle things and the people that's working it for them that looks like us and working the scheme for them. But it says, anyway, it literally means Negro. It literally means black or dark, but its usage as a description of people dates back to the Spanish colonization. Spanish colonial casta, or the caste system, hierarchy, categorized Europeans, Native American, and mixed race populations in North, South America. Now, what you're talking about, the Spanish caste system, is where the European was considered white. All the way at the top of the caste would be the European, just like a totem pole. The European would be considered white. And then you would have the Native American would be considered red. And then somewhere in there, you had the mixed race, or the brown. They would be considered somewhere in between the red. But at the bottom, you would have the black. You would have the slave. Now, this caste system of the Spanish the Spanish conquerors, it didn't start there either. They did this caste system all over the planet Earth. They did it in India. They did it in Africa. They did it everywhere they went. And it was a proven methodology to alter the psyche of the people who they was trying to conquer. Who they was trying to conquer. Somebody said, who is supposed to be foundational Black American FBA person is a government plant? Who is? We don't know. But we're saying that this is a philosophy of something that we've seen in the past. We don't know. You might have to find out who it is. But we know that this philosophy that is taught with identity has been done many, many times. And it has kept us on a hamster wheel and running in circles. So I don't know. You have to research for yourself who actually the individual is. But with that being said, the term Negro gained acceptance in the term Negro gained acceptance in the 19th century with the promotion of black activists like W.E. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington. Harlem Renaissance writer Langston Hughes' affirmation. See, here we go with another entertainer, Langston Hughes. He a Renaissance writers, but he up in the, here we go again. Here we go. It's evident that the piercing line of 1926 essay, why would I want to be white? I am a Negro. See, it's being pushed. I'm a Negro and beautiful. And then later on, it would say I'm black and beautiful. But Negro and beautiful, black and beautiful is synonymous. It's the same exact thing. Colored and a Negro were used somewhat interchangeably by Black American. These things was put before us, and we gravitate to it because we could not gravitate to that which we were. For we lost who we are. You know, it says in the Public Enemy song, we forgot we was robbed of our name, robbed of our religion, our God. And the way that many of us, we even lost our mind. By the 1940s, there was no organization that included the term colored. So they transitioned from colored, pardon me, we still got the National Advancement of Colored People. Something like that. Ain't that what it's called? Anyway, I think I'm cooking. Like my son tried to say, let him cook. Cook, Dad, let him cook. I say, boy, you'll get on my face. By the late 1940s, there was no organization that included the term colored, except for the NAACP, and their title indicating another shift. Instead, organizations such as the National Council of Negro Women and the Negro Youth Congress, 1937-1935, became commonplace. Black activists preferred Negro over colored. You see what I'm saying? These are not the regular people choosing their identity based on scientific or historical data. Somebody is telling them who they are, and they are choosing it from that point on. Press 7 if you understand what I'm saying. This is the same thing that's happening today. You have celebrities or fake activists telling people who they are, and the people are choosing it. They're not choosing it from scientific data nor historical accuracy. They have, listen family, this is how the Mickey goes in the drink. They have the entertainer or they have the fake activist. That's how it works. It works like that all the time. It never changes. This is why you always got to study history, because history will show you that what is going on today, it comes from a proven method from yesterday. They know how to shuffle the deck with identity. They've been doing it since slavery. They've been doing, and when the Moors say, I'm not black, you know what I mean? And they try to say, well, Moor means black. Yeah, we're going to beat that up too. I was one of the first one on the internet to show that Moor don't mean black. And then you got other Moors to follow. You got other Moors. I was one of the first ones. I was one of the first one to do a presentation and did the deep research to discover the actual essence of what the term Moor mean, where it comes from, the origin of it, and even the birth of the word, even on down to the MWTv. But with that being said, see, they get mad because I get loud. They get mad because the way that I teach. They get mad of all these things. But listen, when you get mad, give me a little bit credit, because most of these Moors out here be using the same research that I put out from my hard work, from my travels, from my time and reading and putting these big jokers. You see these big jokers? Hold up. Y'all think it's a game. You see these big jokers? I put these big jokers to work. You hear what I say? These big jokers be red as fireballs. Anybody eat hot balls when they was growing up? You know them hot balls? Man, these jokers be red as ever. I put these jokers to work. And guess what? Most people that think they don't like me, act like they don't like me, they have used my research, and they continue to use my research today. They continue to use it today. That's right. They use it today, and they still talk crazy. But you know, they bless their heart. I'm glad I was able to teach you something. That's why I'm the People's Grand Sheik, because they steal the research, my hard-earned research, and then they make it their own. I'm their Grand Sheik for real. Absolutely. But with that being said, the Negro Youth Congress, 1937, became commonplace. Black activists preferred Negro over color. You see, they have to put people out front to make the shift happen, as the latter lacked specificity. I ain't gonna get it.
I ain't gonna get it. Specificity. Come on, black girls, read specificity. Y'all, hey, I don't know what happened. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Somebody said what the word more mean. I'm gonna bring that up. I'm gonna try to bring that up in the end. More means westerner, or the ones that went west. They traveled from the Nile Valley and they went west and they created civilizations along the way. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. Somebody said you got to watch to the end. You said the FBA is an illogical cult. I'm trying to understand who or what will lead you to that conclusion. I'm about to tell you right now. It's a brick wall identity. It's a brick wall identity. You got to stay to the end. I'm almost, let me cook. Brick squad, stay to the end. Let me cook. It's a brick wall identity. Specificity. Specificity. Man, listen, I still got my African tongue, man. I can't pronounce some of these European words, man. Specificity. See, y'all been colonized. See, I don't get mad when I can't pronounce a word. I know what it means something. I know it means something about specific. See, y'all been colonized. Y'all can speak the king's language perfect. And then, y'all, when some don't speak the king's language, what y'all say to them? Oh, man, you ignorant. Oh, man, you dumb. No, I ain't. Y'all totally colonized. Y'all speak it all good. I'm trying my best. They ain't get me all the way. They got me like 75%, but I didn't switch up so much they only got about 5% when I want to hit my brother in the mouth for talking crazy, and I'm working on that too. That's right, I'm no longer colonized, I'm free. I can't even pronounce the English word. I can't pronounce it. I's free now, Crypto, eyes free. I can't pronounce English words. Specificity. Man, I don't even be kidding. Let me tell you something, fam. Listen, you know when you're young, right? When you're young and you butcher some words and you feel some type of way. Hey, listen, Allah is my witness. I don't feel no type of way. I really don't feel. I am so happy to be able to teach, in a way where everyone can get it and understand, man. If I can't get every word, don't charge it to my heart. I mean, my tongue just don't fit some of those words. I don't know why. I know exactly. I know it in my head. I'm like a person that stutter. In my head, I'm talking fast. In my head, I'm reading a word. But when I start to talk, it's in my head, I know what it is. I know the definition of everything. But when I start to talk, that's I got an uncle that stutter, Uncle Pete. I said, Uncle Pete, do you stutter when you think what you about to say? He said, no. No. I say, well, try to think it and then say it. He said, I do. Let me get back to teaching. Look at the guy. Look at the guy. You're trying to be nice. We understand, Grand Sheik. We reading right along with you. Mm-hmm. Takaya got my grandmother's spirit. Takaya got my grandmother Miss Juanita's spirit. He not bad. He just mischievous. He just needs some love. Grandma was bad, Grandma. What you talking about? God bless my grandma, man. She rest in power. Takaya, we understand. We're reading right along with you, baby. I'm sorry. I had to take a break. You know the people that like scholarship, man. Why he so silly? Why he so silly? You know what I mean, man? Well, hey, it is what it is. Because I haven't been trained by them people to be serious all the time when I'm trying to teach something. Anyway, with that being said, it says that as a ladder lacks specificity.
Man, forget it. Given the growing racial diversity of the country, Negro also encompasses those with African ancestry and was preferred over mulatto, another inherited word of Spanish origin that was considered offensive by the 20th century. Family, do we understand how these misnomers or these labels was given to us? These labels and these misnomers was given to us for an express purpose. By the start of the modern civil rights movement, Black Americans, quote unquote, were considering new ways of thinking about their communities. Black had been used as a negative foil to white, quote unquote, people, and thus the opposite of all that is good and pure, and for that reason had been considered offensive. However, in the 1960s, a movement led by young people sought to pridefully reclaim the term. Reclaim? There is no reclaim. We never used the term before it was given to us. Black power, black is beautiful. While Negro was an inherited term associated with slavery, black was a chosen identity. Now, this is what was written in this article, and I should have sourced it real quick because this person that wrote this article is saying two things, but I like what it says that I highlighted. Black had been used as a negative foil to white people. In other words, the European labeled Africans black people as a negative, as they call it, a negative foil. But then in this same article, they say that we chose it. The term Negro, adopted from the Latin, has been used from primitive time to describe, quote unquote, black people. Somebody else was doing that, of Africa, as they are or have been. And so used, it has been treated, and quite properly, as a common noun. Now, family, this is how they was beginning to rationalize the term black. In articles, Thomas T. Fortune wrote this article in 1906 in the in the newspaper, the voice of the Negro, March 1906. Now listen how they try to rationalize this thing. But he is solely against it for another term. It says, he called it a common noun. Family, how can black be a common noun? Black Girl Reed is in the chat today. How can black be a common noun? When we know that a noun is a person, place, or thing, and black is a color, that would be an adjective that describes the person, place, or thing. Nevertheless, it is impossible to get the writers in America, Europe, or Asia to treat it as a proper noun. He wanted to be treated as a proper noun. Not that it is, he wanted to be treated as. He wanted to be treated as a common noun or a proper noun. But you see how they begin to adjust history? See how they begin to address words? And that's why dictionaries today and dictionary yesterday have so many flexible meanings in them. Listen, he says, they never will do it because it's not a term definitive of race infinities and unities, but of physical particulars of race. And I like what he says here. He said they never going to treat it as a proper noun. They're never going to treat it as a common noun because it's not a definitive of race affinities or unities, but of physical particularities. I got that one. I messed it up. Peculiarities, I'm going to get it one day, of race, of which color is the visible and variable index. Let me break it down. He's saying that it would never be a proper noun. It would never be a common noun because it's not a noun, because it only describes the people. No effort of Afro-American publics will ever be able to convert the term Negro into a proper noun because philosophically it is a common noun. This being the case, and universal interpretation make it so with the scholars of all lands, how are we to accept it as a race designation? With the dignity which must attach to every race designation, if we should accept it, would not the race always be subjected to ridicule, contempt of being the only race dead or alive, which was looked upon and characterized as a common noun? That's Thomas T. Fortune. Now, you will see today that from 1906 to today, they have been able to take that term black, just like they have been able to some kind of way shift the term nigger into a term of endearment. Now, nigger may never reach the height of endearment as black has reached, but they have found a way to do it. Family, you wait till I get to the end, because I know Brick wanted some answers, and we almost to the end. Let me fry him through this. Stokely Carmichael, is that who that is? From Negro to Black, starting in the 1960 civil rights, and this doesn't mean that everybody is an agent, but I will tell you that activists push these terms on the regular people. The regular people did not go and do some scientific historical research. Stokely Carmichael pushed the idea Black Power, which got popular by him. Now, I want to ask you a question. If you got a map of the Americas and you believe that you are indigenous to the Americas, the question I ask, what were the people that were snatched from this continent name before they were snatched? I declare that there's not one person. So what we should have been trying to do is trying to identify who these people were before. That's jackpot right there. Who were these people before they were enslaved? Anything other than that, somebody is making up something for you to distract you and to shuffle the cards. Because some people still wanted to be Negro in the transition from colored. Some people still want to be colored in the transition to black. Some people still want to be black in the transition of African American. That's called disunity, because people will not identify in the same ideal with a shuffle deck like that. That's the deck that was given to us. We didn't pick these terms. It was given to us. So what happens is, even when you look at reparations, when someone give you what you call a Freedmen's Bureau, and someone gives you a task force, then they can control what goes in it. When you put your own task force together to discover who you are, then no outsider can introduce something that does not belong. That's what I'm talking about, the task force, and that's what I'm talking about, identity of our people. And so now, at any given moment, they can say you ADOS as an identity. At any given moment, they can say you're FBA as an identity. But when they do that, what they do is they cause a total disconnect, and they disrupt the lineage that made you great before the slave trade. They disrupt it. Your greatness lies right in coming out of slavery, somebody freeing you. Didn't we fight against that in the 80s and in the 70s? You heard fights about that in school? Watch this. Whatever you choose to identify with, I identify as Moorish, right? But whatever you choose to identify with, none of them came over here as what we know to be black people. I identify with Moorish. That's what I identify with. Because I know that these people was targeted to put into slavery, as I talked about in the beginning. So that's what I identify with. But let's go here real quick. But you don't have to. You don't have to. But know for sure that on that shore you had Yoruba, an ethnic group that live in parts of Nigeria, Benin, Togo, which were collectively called Yoruba land. You have Hassa, smaller kingdoms, especially Kano, Kassina, that led Western African external trade in the 18th century. They led from the Mandates commercial and industrial experience and developed training. And I just grabbed this real quick. You got the Igbo. You got the Igbo, a principal group that lived in Brighton, Biafra, in the southeastern part of the region. Many Igbo people were enslaved and taken to the Chesapeake region of the 17th century. You know what I mean? Nobody came here like that. I mean, some Moors was involved in the slave trade. Africans was involved in the slave trade. We got to get that out of our head too. Talking about the Moors was involved in the slave trade. Africans was involved in the slave trade. Moors are African. Stop talking crazy, Adrian. Moors are Africans. To say Moors are involved in the slave trade, you're saying that Africans were involved in the slave trade. Yes, Africans enslaved Africans before Arabs and before Europeans enslaved Africans. Where do you think they got the idea from? Because we enslaved Europeans first. What are you talking about? So that's a straw man argument also. Another argument of divide and conquer. You know what I'm saying? The Moors enslaved, as if the Moors, didn't I just show you on the map that the Moors, didn't I just show you on the map that the Moors are in North Africa? So if the Moors are in North Africa, that will make the Moors, in the sense of what we're talking today, African. So Moors, Africans, enslaved Africans. You're absolutely right. But the Moors was targeted for slavery, and that's how we begin this situation on this side of the ocean. But let me finish. When you're dealing with the term black, and this is one of the lessons that I did in my lecture. This past weekend, right? Listen closely. Listen closely to this. This was a powerful slide in my lecture this weekend. African is used as a racial origins term. The reason for this is because of modern times, transportation, etc. There are Africans in the USA. For example, you can see a person and tell their racial origins is in Africa. And we're talking about phenotype. Because of the strong admixture of people in the USA, you can see a person and consider this person lineage and racial origin are African, Asian, European, etc. We're talking about a phenotype. In America, you can look at a person and say, well, yeah, that's an African origin. Africans on our motherland, racial origins has no major thought. It is, are you Fulani or Igbo? With that is saying that before the coming of this experiment of enslavement, we didn't ask people, are you black? Are you Negro? Are you African American? Are you No, it's are you Fulani, Igbo? These are tribal things. I mean, these are tribal things. Now, somebody say changing names is not something only thing done to black people. No, it's not. However, it has crippled us, and we adopt any name that people give us. We adopt any name that people give us. See, the difference between, you're talking about Asians were once Oriental, that's how they describe them, but that's not how they describe themselves. They use those terms for business, for converse, for the sake of communication. But when you talk to them, they know that they are Chinese. They don't use those terms. They use those terms for the sake of communication, trade, etc. We we use these terms and adopt these terms and even give our life for these terms. And these terms have never benefited us anything. The difference between the one that calls themselves Asian or Oriental, they can still go back and they can check the record and find out who they are and what they stood for in eons of the past. He said Mexican, Puerto Rican, Cubans became Latino, Hispanic. Exactly, but the same thing applies. A Mexican will tell you that if you go further back into the history of a Mexican that is brown, you will find an African hidden in a closet. That was told to me by a Mexican. So absolutely right. Absolutely right. I mean, they can always trace themselves back to their direct identity or some identity that they identify with greatness. But when we get these terms, we will fight and die over these terms. And these terms was given to us. Black is not necessarily our color. Most humans are in America who call themselves black are actually black, dark chocolate. Yes. Okay. Africans have the strongest diversity of any humans on the planet. Black is a colonial term started in the colonies of Virginia. Family, get your pens and paper, and I'm going to tell you that this was the setup. Again, just like FBA is giving us a name, this is another name that was given us before FBA. This was the start of another era of giving names. You know what I mean? After Savage and after Infidel. Black is a colonial term started in the colonies of Virginia and Maryland after something called the Bacon's Rebellion. Get your pen and paper, look that up, family. Where Africans joined up with Europeans and almost took over from the elites. After subdued, during the Colonial Assembly of Maryland, the term white was applied to the human race was created alongside of that of black. Family, go look it up. Go look it up. Gray area here. Beep, beep. Gray area here. White comes from a more of a Christian icon imagery of white doves, white is light, white is right, etc. Manifest destiny. Manifest destiny. At the beginning to separate Africans from Europeans, it was Christians was going to be the word for white. It was Christians was going to be the word for white. Black and white were terms developed to help leverage poor Europeans that teamed up with Africans to lean towards the upper class. In other words, the poor Europeans will be able to call themselves white and look down on their equal land workers and call them black. Now you got black laws. Now poor Europeans that go along with this new identity have all power over non-whites. That's where you get the Karens from today. Y'all both in the same tax bracket, both in the same economic bracket, and in some cases, we're much higher than some of these Karens, but guess what? They think that they have all power over you. This is the origin of this. I can have a gun, you can't. This was back then. I can hit you, you can't hit me. I can testify against you, but you can't against me, etc. Black means no rights, not Christian, etc. Along with dark black religion, the dark mysterious Africa. Europeans documented the different tones of browns of African. And this is how the term black came into the lexicon of calling and identifying us. It was a scheme in order to gain the confidence and the support of the less fortunate Europeans to group with the less fortunate indentured servants or slaves in order to divide and control the people. There you go. There you go. There you go. Now, with that being said, this is history of the term. This is history of the term. Do you follow me? Now, let's go into another level. I said that activists are ones that push these terms. Let's look at the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Many people will get upset with this segment, but they're going to have to get upset because, as you can see, Elijah Muhammad was one to push the concept of the Asiatic black man.
Now we know that Prophet Noble Drew Ali, if you don't know, now you do know, that Prophet Noble Drew Ali would push the term that we are Asiatics. And hence the term Asiatic is that the whole planet was once called Asia. Now, you don't have to agree with that, or you can have a variable of that, but let me just give you the concept. No one else used that term in our societies of America after slavery that I know of. I could be wrong, other than Prophet Noble Drew Ali, or maybe scholars. Elijah Muhammad will also use the term Asiatics. But when the shift would happen with identity, Elijah Muhammad would ultimately shift with it. And he went from Asiatic to Asiatic black man. And that became even popular. You had the entertainers and you had the activists and you had the clergy pushing this term. That's why a majority of the people today are so emotionally attached to it, because there was so much effort put into the term. That is a total disconnect. It's a total disconnect from your ancestry. Now, with that being said, how do we know that? This is an article. Back in the 30s. This is an article back in the 30s where Elijah Muhammad was interviewed. And the interviewer is up in the temple interviewing Elijah Muhammad. And in this interview, you'll be able to see what Elijah Muhammad calls himself. But somewhere along the way, he lets it go. It says, speakers asserted Muhammad unlived 6 million Christians and put 90 on a pole. The Nation of Islam has 30 million trained soldiers who will follow Japan to domination. Now, you know they didn't have no 30 million soldiers back in the 30s. Typical of the propaganda are these extracts from a specially written Quran furnished to members. A specially written Quran. This is talking about Elijah Muhammad now. This ain't talking about the Moorish Temple of America. Under the red line, it says, who were Adam and Eve? Look at question 57. Who were Adam and Eve? They are the mothers and fathers of the human family, Asiatics and Muslims. So Elijah Muhammad knew pure identity from a Moorish perspective. Who is God in the holy city of Mecca? Then it goes on down to say 63 are the Moorish Americans any relation to these angels? Yes, we all have the same father and mother. So in the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, there is a strong implication that we are angels, right? Whether you know that angels or what that means or not, I'm not getting into the philosophical approach to Moorish science tonight. But what I'm telling you is that Elijah Muhammad knew Moorish science because he was a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America and he was teaching Moorish science. However, somewhere along the way he dropped it. And at this last line, it says, the Asiatic nations of the New World was described by Muhammad, which was known as Elijah Muhammad. It wasn't no Asiatic black man back then. As the Moorish Americans. This was Elijah Muhammad talking. This is Elijah Muhammad talking.
The Asiatic nations of north of the New World were described by Mahmud, whose name is Elijah Muhammad, as the Moorish Americans. His name for Negroes. So too were the dark-skinned millions of South America, Central America, and the Caribbean islands. Elijah Muhammad was teaching pure identity minus brick wall identity with the black man, this, that, and the third before something happened. I don't know what happened, but I'm telling you that one of the reasons that name changes is because activists and entertainers some kind of way change it and then the public follow it. But as you can see right here, Elijah Muhammad was actually teaching identity minus the identity which I like to call brick wall identity. It takes us nowhere. Now, let me get back to my guy. Who claims to be Geechee. This guy here, the amazing guy right here, who claims to be Geechee. Why would this guy claims to be Geechee give that up for FBA that is a brick wall identity? It's just made up in some smoky, dusty room to try to, again, displace us in a mental way and have us emotionally connected to something that is worthless once again. Now, if you don't know what the Geechee people, who are the Geechee people, this is what Marcus claims. The Gullah Geechee people are descendants of Africans. You hear what I say? Who were enslaved on the rice, indigo, and seedland cotton plantations of the lower Atlantic coast. Many came from the rice-growing regions of West Africa. The nature of their enslavement on isolated islands and coastal plantations create a unique culture with deep African retentions that are clearly visible in Gullah Geechee people's distinctive arts, crafts, food. Why is this guy tracing himself to a FBA when he claims to know his rich heritage? This is the ideal. This is indicative of what a sellout does. They sell their culture out because they think they're going to get some popular. They think they're going to get some type of popularity. They think they're going to get the bag. They think, why would you sell your culture out? You're selling your culture out. You got a rich culture right here. Gullah Geechee is unique Creole language spoken in coastal areas of North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. They even got their own language. You're going to give up Geechee heritage for a made-up FBA that came up in 2019? This guy is a fool. This guy is a fool. But hold up now. Wait, it gets worse. Let me finish. The Geechee Gullah language began to simplified form of communication among people who spoke many different languages, including European slave traders, slave owners, and diverse African ethnic groups. A direct connection to the ancestors and the ancestors' rituals, customs, more ways and four ways. The vocabulary and grammatical roots come from African and European languages. Granted, it is only distinctively African Creole language in the United States. The only distinctive language. This guy is going to give all of this up for what they call a FBA family. The Geechee Gullah got their own flag. He's going to give up that for this. He's going to give up the Geechee flag for this. What? This guy's a nut. Figure one. Geechee Gullah flag came into existence in July 2nd, 2000. They trying to come up. They're trying to build. He's supposed to be with them. He claimed to be Geechee. He's supposed to be beating the drum for the Geechee. They got their own flag. And they got some history behind it. This flag uses three colors in representation of their heritage. Blue represents the waters that carried enslaved Africans to the Americas. He claimed to be Geechee. Blue represent the waters that carried the enslaved Africans to the Americas. Gold signifies various shipping manifest dating as early as the 1520s. He's going to give up that and trade it in for this number on a 2019 design. Describing enslaved Africans as black gold to avoid apprehension by anti-slavery colonies. And the green symbolized the land that enslaved people surrendered their lives to cultivate and construct. The Gullah Geechee flag was updated in 2018. The flag uses a symbolic imagery to represent the Gullah heritage. The flag was updated to become inclusive to all Gullah Geechee natives regardless of geographical location. This is like Pan-Africanism for Geechee Gullah. And he's not making a contribution to this. He's making a contribution to an entertainer. He's making a contribution to a charlatan. He's making a contribution for what? Are you serious? Hold up. The downward pointing triangle represents the determination of the African diaspora in America. The color blue above the color green indicates the land that has been protected by sacred waters. Look at this here. Look at this. Look at what they're building. Look at the culture and what the Gullah Geechee are building. And this guy throwing it to the curb. The crab shell represents the coastal industries that made room for modern currency. And the wheat crop honors the prior skill and knowledge of land harvest. Throw it away? Are you serious? Are you serious? This is what we doing. This is what we doing. This is what we doing. The abolishment of slavery initiated the relative isolation of formerly enslaved, quote-unquote, black people to the waterfront properties from Jacksonville, Florida to Charleston, South Carolina. Ain't that way from South Carolina? In 1865, fled a field order that redistributed acres of land for free African families was quickly revoked. Why he ain't jumping back on this Gullah thing? Because they got a claim. They got a real claim. Leaving them to exercise a deed system called heirs property. This isolation became the catalyst for the blending of African cultures and tradition. Since then, descendants of these communities have named this African diaspora the Gullah Geechee Nation. Look at this. Look at this. They organizing, they formulating, showing genetic admixtures from Central West Africa. Hold up, foundation black American, are we? No, you're foundational from the motherland. Central West Africa, Senegal, Ivory Coast, Ghana, Sierra Leone, and bites of Benin and Bafour. Huh? You giving all this up for a made-up term in 2019? The Geechee Gullah culture is marked by its unique language and living styles. They got culture. They ain't got to make it up. Recent studies show linguistic origins links to the Creole language used among the people of Sierra Leone and West Africa. You are West African if you are Geechee Gullah, not foundational North, South, Central America. This is all a sham and a scam, and people are falling for it all over the place. See, they want to make the disconnect to the indigenous people of the Americas and the people that can connect themselves to the northwest and southwestern shores of Africa. You know what I mean? He's giving up his culture. He's not coming on here. You can ask him. Somebody request him to have a respectful interview with the Grand Sheik and ask why would he do he. I already know many people will try to justify that I can do both. Well, let me tell you, the mind cannot attain too many things at once. You got people right here building on infrastructure for the Geechee Gullah culture and nation, and you sitting up there acting like you're about to build an FBA, organization, a leaderless organization and lineage. You got lineage, according to you. The Gullah Geechee people still live in a large familial social groups, occupying the same acreage while sustaining these communities by farming. They still exist, family, often earning wages through coastal industries like shrimping, crabbing, oyster harvesting. While it is difficult to decipher the originating regions of certain customs, reciting folk tales, quilt basket, weaving, wood carving, and are still observed. Gathering like ring shouts that were once held in secret have since become annual festivals held in honor of their culture. What is you doing? You giving all this up? You giving all this up? And then at the end of the day, family, this is Queen Quet, the first elected chiefess and head of state for Gullah Geechee Nation. Why wouldn't your efforts be with the Queen to build this infrastructure as opposed to beg the same people that have dragged our people for anything? You have a group right here that is building infrastructure. Somebody said, we know we are from Africa, but black people are Americans. I didn't say you wasn't. I didn't say you wasn't. That's not the argument. The argument is you got a queen right here with culture. You got a queen right here with a flag. You got a group of people right here with infrastructure. Why are you begging somebody for something when you have people right here that is fighting to build their own? You can be American all you want. That's not the argument. I'm not trying to say you're not American. I don't care what you call yourself. Call yourself black, call yourself whatever you want. Look it up. Who made her queen? Look, family, I'm not going to disrespect the sister. Go research it. Queen Quet. She was elected chiefess of the head of state for the Gullah Nation, whatever. I mean, I'm not going to question that. I mean, who made her queen? That's the first thing we do. Won't you go look it up, Aaron? Won't you go look it up? The first thing we do, listen to the logic. Listen to the logic. The logic is that you got people that is moving on nationhood, that is moving on culture, and that is moving on enriching themselves and their offspring. And you got one that is giving his stuff, his information, giving his talents, giving his energy to a brick wall identity. He's giving his energy to a brick wall identity. And when I say a brick wall identity, when you have an identity or a lineage with no leader, then you ain't going nowhere. Then you ain't going nowhere. That's it. And Aaron Haggerty, unless you are joining the Geechee Gullah Nation, man, don't go over there and harass them people. Obviously, they're not social media people. I had to dig this up. Many of us, press 7 if you never heard of the Geechee Gullah Nation that's organized. I never heard of it until I researched it recently. I never heard of it. So at the end of the day, leave them people alone. They trying to do something that these FBAs ain't doing. These FBAs, what they trying to do is say, give me some money. What these FBAs trying to do is say, let's go and have a rally. What these FBAs are doing is, let's have a party. These people are trying to actually build nations. These people actually have a leader. These people actually have something that they're working towards. Man, don't mess with them people. And you see how the Gullah Geechee did all this without talking down on African and Caribbeans? Absolutely right. Shout out to the Gullah Geechee. Shout out to the Queen Quet. Absolutely right. And see, that's the difference. And so for someone to throw something out there like FBA, they're not building on nationhood. FBA does not build on nationhood. FBA does not build on economic power. FBA does not build on political power. FBA is just a brick wall identity that's not building towards nothing. Geechee Gullah Geechee, they got culture, they got identity, they got nation, They got leadership. They got organization. They got rituals. They got what you call nation building. That's what they got. That's what they got. So if Marcus claiming to be Gullah Geechee, his energy's supposed to be right there. Everybody want attention. Aaron Haggerty says his mother is Gullah Geechee, but he never knew much about them. Go do some research. Go do some research. It's a rich history there. I just scratched the surface. Now, I don't know if you can be sugared up in Gullah Geechee. Now, let me see. Let me see if they got some laws up in there. Nah, man, it's getting late, man. I ain't messing with Rebello. But anyway, family, if you think this was a superb presentation, family, please. I'm not mistaken about FBA. Brick Squad, you can come on here. FBA is a dead-end identity. All it is saying that you have some form of connection into America. It's not building towards anything. You might as well just call yourself black. Black is another identity that it does not build any political power. But now, people under the term black, they do build political power. But you might as well. But why you change for what? Change for what? Listen, Truth 7360. I would never tell people who they are. What I would do is I'll give you the history of our people. I'll give you some logic. I'll give you some reasoning, and you would have to identify that. I think it's very arrogant for any person to look at all of us and say that you are more, or you are Igbo, or you. Now, unless you got the round head like the Nigerian Igbo, then that's Igbo. Or if you saw the phenotype, oh, that's a such and such. Like, but I would never be as arrogant as we see some of these people on the internet trying to look at people and say, oh, you are more. Everybody is a more. No, you're not. They not. They not. As far as talking with the government. Now, Truth 7360, that's the type of person I would like to have on a panel. As far as talking with the government, we have to organize and have checks and balances with those who are going to speak for us. You see what I'm saying? Until we organize and we have a spokesperson, there is no talking to the government. Because they're going to give you people, they're going to create people that seems to be talking or representing for you. But a real talk with the government is something that you organize yourself. You see what I'm saying? Something that you organize yourself. You create the council, and your council present your argument or your redress independently. You don't ask to a government to create something to free you when it was the same government that created the condition that you're in. You have to create that yourself. That's my argument. You have to create that yourself. But we're so far behind as it relates to trying to get free. We're so comfortable that many of us don't believe that we can create a group, a council that can address this issue effectively. The first thing someone says is, well, they burnt down Tulsa. The first thing someone says is, they got more guns. The first thing that someone says, they defeated before they even start. But if Africans in America or the indigenous brothers and sisters that was here and enslaved, if they want to have some form of peace as a nation of people, they first going to have to build a council in a community. That's first thing going to have to happen. And then they're going to have to respect the spokesperson and push the right spokesperson in front to represent the collective thoughts. All the intelligence of jurisprudence, all the intelligence of farming, all the intelligence of technology, all the intelligence of agriculture and cosmology, all of that has to come together. Can MST help black people get free? Absolutely. But everybody, one thing you have to know, MX, you have to understand that right now, you got to understand that right now, everybody, they shuffled the deck on us. You know what I'm saying? When you look at Moorish from the internet perspective, all you see is crazy people. You don't hear a lot of logical Moors on the internet. Let's keep it a whole stack. They be talking about taking a piece of paper to drive down the street. They be talking about, I ain't got to pay taxes. This is Al Marak. Like let's keep it a whole stack. You know what I mean? Let's keep it a whole stack. You know what I mean? If we keep it a stack, come on. You know? And then if someone was to jump out to the forefront to try to organize, you know, listen, we got a ways to go. I will tell you that. How you feel about ADS being a national spokesman? I think ADOS is an excellent concept. However, I do think that it has elements of. I think the jury is out. I think the jury is out because when I start to seeing organizations not expediting organizing, I'm talking about expediting organizing. You know what I mean? I'm talking about like, yeah, we need one spot. We don't need them all the way around the country. We need one spot. And we can internet the rest out. And we can put our brightest minds together. Just like a lawsuit. We can put our brightest minds together and make our claim. If you got people that are still talking after 4 and 5 years of coming together as a lettered group, it's hard to believe that you're serious. Because to make a claim is no different than filing a lawsuit. It's not that difficult. I mean, it's not that difficult. If you're making a claim, I mean, you're asking for compensation for an atrocity that happened to you or your ancestors. That's a lawsuit. I mean, there's so many ways to put the skin back on this cat. But if you just talking and you're selling what you call that Patreons to be heard, and I don't know, bro. I don't know. I someone who's genuine with moving the meter, it's everything ain't for sale. It's time to rock and roll. It's time to rock and roll. You know what I mean? Everything's for sale. Everything's for sale. Somebody say ADOS and FBA are simply attempts at self-determination. No, it's not. FBA is not an attempt for self-determination because FBA don't have no leader. FBA do not have a leader. The leader must speak for the collective in any self-determinating movement. You hear what I say? FBA does not have a leader, so they cannot go towards self-determination. You follow me? Now, ADOS does have a leader. However, I don't know how many proposals that they have wrote. I don't know any lawsuits that they have filed. I don't know yet. They're not on my radar like that. But I know FBA doesn't have a leader, so they cannot. That's not an attempt at self-determination. That's not an attempt. It's just purely not an attempt. It's another brand to sell you on a concept, an idea, confuse you, and just to shuffle the deck a little bit more. But with that being said, family, I'm up out of here, family. I appreciate you. You know what I mean? I gotta go. I'm tired now. I think I made my point. Did I make my point? Tell me if I made my point, because I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here, family. I gotta get out of here. I gotta go work tomorrow. I hope I made my point.
I be that more you gon' remember.
Hold up.
I'ma be that more you gon' remember.
Anybody want to join me? All you got to do is send me an email to MWTvupdates@gmail.com. Hey, Crip, Black Girl Read, please put that in the chat. MWTvupdates@gmail.com. Don't come on here cursing. Don't come on here talking about you gonna beat me up. Don't come over there. Come in with your information and let's get it go.
Back to Morocco, the mountains, Mississippi, and Quebec. Told you you wasn't black.
That's right.
Straight back, you tripping off Trump. You need to be tripping off that. Now here we go again.
Appreciate you,
Like
Black
a
Girls
slave.
Read.
The same people talk European.
That's
how to
right.
behave. And looking at women buying European hair. No love for self, but do the men really care?
Original
Hell
people.
no, 'cause they got a love for Europe. Whole generation chasing pills, weed, and syrup. Yeah, they love Lil Yachty, Tucci, Gucci, Kodak, Amigos, Ross, Lucid. But
Where the love for the woman look like your mother.
I guess they say it's all black when it's under the cover.
Now Cypher.
I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember. That's right. I be that more you gon' remember. To Hawker Bay front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember. That's right.
Hit me up,
Be
family.
that more you gon' remember. To Hawker Bay front line till the law call my number. All you super scholars holler. This arrow for the workers. You ain't building on the ground, then you worse than a twerker. You look and sound good, but that's only on the surface. Probably working for the people. Now tell me what's your purpose. Ain't worried about your homie, but know that I know every mo that rock a fast. He ain't my bro. Yeah, you know I ain't slow. I seen it all before. How they try to kill the prophet, it was all for dough. And some got it
Let's
right
go.
now. Don't say that I'm not down. I'm coming
Demetrius
for my family.
Manning,
I'm on my
babe.
town, my stores, my school, my
What up,
nation.
Tagaya?
Tired of the procrastination and debate.
Hey, Brick, you keep coming in like that, you gonna get slammed.
You don't love yourself, so you can't love your neighbor. That's why you killing, fighting, marry out of your race.
Email me
Moorish World, then
if
get
you
out
want,
of
come
my
on.
face. Cause Chinese love China, Italians love Italy. If you used to love the Moorish World, come on and build it with me. Let's go. I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember. That's right. I be that more you gon' remember. To Hawker Bay front line till the law call my number.